Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video I'll be doing my AFL SuperCoach team review for round 8, as well as going through and doing my team preview for round 9. Sort of a bad week for me. 2085, I copped the green 7 or 5 or whatever it was. So that pretty much stuffed my round, as well as Darcy Wilson off the field on the emergency bench. Pretty much stuffed up my round as I had to cop I lost roughly, I think it was somewhere around about 120, 130 points in general because of that. So that pretty much stuffed up my round, and round rank of 47,615, and I slid 400 ranks to 595. But I'm not too worried about it, given that I think my trades this week and having Luke Jackson up my sleeve to cover the Jordan Sweet news that we pretty much know that he's out. A lot of people are stuffed because they don't have an R2 they have to trade early into English, which doesn't really help them too much. I mean, it will help them a little bit because they get that upgrade done, but they were sort of banking on Sweet being able to go sort of that 80, 90, 100 range in SuperCoach and sort of beat out their rookies. So it really didn't help them as much, whereas I can just slide Jackson in there and it doesn't really change my upgrading as much. So pretty happy about Jackson being there on both platforms, I guess. But anyway, before we jump into this video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and let's get into the video. So, Nick Dacos, he went 150, did that. He was really good. And Walsh sucked in the last quarter. Absolutely sucked. Didn't do anything. And basically, I think he went plus 2 points in the last, maybe SuperCoach-wise, something like that. I believe he was on 89 or 90. It was almost a week ago now. It was Thursday night last week, I believe, that they played or something, or maybe it was Friday night. And yeah, so it's basically been a week, but that was from memory what happened with Walsh, and that's why he didn't do well, mainly because that last goal, I believe, from, and then a couple of late things, basically took him from a 106 with a minute to go to a 91 or something like that. So yeah, he really did get tanking because of the scaling. So yeah, Nick Dacos did really well. Harry Sheasel, 73, didn't like his role, had like 5 or 6 clangers. Hopefully he cleans that up, as I still think he can go 100 in that role, especially if he starts getting a lot of score assists. Elliot Yeo, 80, and is out. Yeah, that sucks. But yeah, that run came out, finished, and plus 33 and plus 33 on average and 150k. Yeah, you take it. And now he's getting upgraded to someone we will just see. I just need to remember who it was, and I believe I've remembered. And that's why I'm running a poll currently on Twitter to see who the forward that I bring in, if you all know my trades now, given the Jordan Sweet news, who the forward I bring in to basically cover some guy that I'm not too confident in. And it's currently a 62 votes with about 30 hours remaining, or just more of 30 hours. And it's a 52 to 48 split, basically 1 or 2 votes difference between the two guys that I have. So get onto that one to vote to, and I sort of want to speak to a couple people to see what they think. So yeah, Yo, sad to see him go because he was absolute monster scores week in, week out. And if he had another, if he had scored, I think 120 or something like that, and then got an injured, I would have been able to make the maneuver that I want to sort of make and get the top 2 rucks in, and top 2 forward targets in this week, and that would have really helped. But of course he went down 7k, and yeah, so he would have, I think if a 40-point gain, I think he would have done it just, I believe, as I basically needed him to get another 27k difference, which I think another 40 points would have been close to, if not gotten him up to what I needed him to get up to. Nick Martin, 122 in the back line. Wangane Malera looked a lot better and has Hawthorn, so hopefully he can put up a really good score there. Bonner, 98, looked all right, and yeah, so hopefully he can put up a good score next week. Then you have Rao, 65, he did horrendous. against Brisbane, and that was just an uncontested game. Hopefully the TIO Stadium comes back and does the good old tackle fest that we saw last year, and hopefully that happens. Bontempelli 142. I'm hoping that he does that again, honestly, and contemplating a potential VC. Butters 124. We talked about Walsh as well, so yeah, Butters did his job, and hopefully, I mean, it is against Geelong, which is tough, and he doesn't have Rosé or a ruckman, so it'll be tough to see him do really well. I think so. Just hope for an all right score. Steele 112, getting back to it, but hopefully he's back to it, back to his utter best, which is like 140s. And then Tom Green, we brought him in to get injured, basically, and that sort of sucks, as I could have brought in basically Dawson, which I didn't really like. Sarong could have been another really good one to bring in. Would have probably almost negated the trades that I have planned at the moment if I did bring in Sarong. But yeah, Tom Green, we just hope he gets up, else Darcy Wilson is the guy that comes in, I believe, or is it Closey that comes on field? It's something like that when I go through my trades that occurs. Or no, sorry, it's Tom Powell, I believe, that comes in if... It's Tom Powell that comes in because Graham slips to the... or something. Yeah, I think it's Tom Powell that just comes in. And then if Bonner doesn't score well, then Closey goes on field. Basically, is I think from memory, but we'll get to that. Roberts survives another week. I think he just, in the wet, it sucked. And even though he was in the dry for a quarter and a half where he didn't score well, I just think that the wet game, the Swans didn't really want to ship it about as much. So yeah, I'm predicting that he does it. Chips it around a little bit more tomorrow night at Freo. And I just want to be able to hold on to him, basically, because I think he'll be really, really useful in the latter half of the buys, because I'm probably going to have, I would think, 17 primos and like a rookie on field come the first round buys in round 12. So I'm really hoping that I can hold on to Roberts, because Roberts will be... effectively, I believe, not really a primo, but can be used in the latter half of the buys when I do have struggles with the primo, sort of the round 14 and 15, as I think he's a really good sort of still rookie and not really primo guy. And I hope to have him sort of as a 23rd or 24th guy off the bench and not really have to trade him, but might have to. At the end. And then Graham as well, he's just making cash. He's doing his job. 12 break even. He's still projected, I think, to make another sort of 70k, I would think. Yeah, you can sort of look at it with 70s. He's supposed to go up to still 349, which is another 70k, really, before he starts to flatten out, I would think. You could even think he's going to make to 370. So yeah, if he scores really well against North as well here, that break even could possibly even hold. And holding that break even at 12 for another week would be absolutely huge. And plays Geelong at TRO next week. And if he gets a big score there as well, then that could set him up to get to 400k. Because if he gets to 400k, huge cash gen. And that basically would confirm me finishing off my side and get me close to topping out the side. And getting up to that 23rd and 24th primo, or just being able to hold Roberts as that 23rd guy before even any more of this cash gen, considering any more of the cash gen out of these guys. As I believe currently with all the guys that I want to trade out and trading them to like 102s and 120s, sort of dead players that I'm roughly about 20k short just on these values alone, let alone them making more and more cash. So yeah, we talked about that. Graham, Darcy Wilson 126, sucked to have him on the bench. Garcia 56, Clark 78, good cash gen out of Clark. So hopefully he plays in another couple of games. As another couple of games for him, say he somehow manages a 70 again, which is not going to happen, I don't think. But if it does happen, look at this cash gen that he's going to get, a 70 and a 70. He'll be at like 250k or something like that. And 250k for Jai Clark, thank you. Simply put, thank you, as that'll be well warranted, I guess, as I thought he was basically cooked at 120, was it, roughly? Sorry, no, he was actually 150k, pretty much cooked. Gawn was captain, went 111, saved it in the last quarter with like a 52 Supercoach, so yeah, that was all right. And then Sweet 74, we took him, and he's going to be out this week, which sucks. But I genuinely think that he probably ends up around the bye, clocking in. Given he's missing this week, 1, 2, 3 more games. So basically, I think he ends up, 370k roughly is around 370, 380k is still the marker that he finishes at. So I'm not too worried about him. Yes, it sucks that we probably miss out on 20 to 30k of cash gen because he's out in, COVID, I believe, I'm led to believe. Which sort of sucks, but in the end, I'm not too pissed off because a lot of people have him at R2 and not having an R2 cover like we do with Jackson. Heaney, Flanders, Jackson, they all did all right. Jackson, an 86, even though he's not number one ruck, is still all right, actually. It's still close. It's still within the margin of a margin of error of, 5 points, I would say, is still an all right margin of error for guys to have that. I still think he could be a top 6 guy. And against Sydney, against McLean in the ruck, I think he runs him around when they are ruck. And I think he actually genuinely scores all right against Sydney. Whereas a lot of the time he's coming up against a more mobile ruckman. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Jackson there. Even though it is against my Swans. And then Reed, Tom Powell, and Darcy. I had to field Darcy because of Fife sub, which did sort of suck. And I could look at trading Fife out, but that would still mean Darcy, I think, has to play. So I'm not too intent on that, to be honest with you, as I want to get rid of Darcy and not have to play him. Even though he is playing Richmond, I'm not too keen on Darcy, to be honest with you. Even though he's averaging like 75, just because I do want to get other guys on. So maybe it would be a smarter call to not get to get rid of, Darcy. Not get rid of Darcy and get rid of like a Fife or something. But I still have confidence in Fife, given that it was a 5-day break. And he's got a 102 break even, so I still think he's not going to dip down that much. So that's the reason behind that. And Biggie, I just hope he gets named so that we can gain some more cash, as he's got like a negative break even, 7 break even. So, and he did all right in twos. I looked at it last night, and I think he had 15 touches and 7 marks, 3 tackles in the twos. So hopefully he can just replace Pink, maybe just play as a key defender in the side, get up a 60 score or something, get another 20k, 30k, and make a actual trade out where you can actually get an upgrade out of him. That would be wonderful. But anyway, moving on to the trades, and obviously Elliot Yeo is a trade out. And you're probably thinking, how am I going to do this? And I actually have to rethink. And Darcy, I want to also trade out as well. And the guy I want to bring in did go large last week, and it was Dane Zorko. And the reason why I said I was talking about Darcy and sort of, do I want to hold him for another week, maybe get rid of a Fife instead? Now, thinking about it is, let me actually just think. Can I get rid of a Darcy and get rid of a Fife, maybe? Here. There we go. And that gives me 598k. And 598k, play that there. And do I get instead? Because what's Darcy's break even here? Just want to check. What's his break even? 42. So that would be making me more cash. And I would be getting rid of Fife, which is awkward. But I don't know if I want to necessarily keep Fife in the long run. But that would allow me to, in defense or midfield, is there anyone that I really am looking at in the midfield that I want to take chances on? I could look at Clary, the averages of guys that, and let's actually check that, filter this to guys that I can actually afford, players that I can afford. And you see Miller, Neil, don't really want to be taking on too many of those guys. Miller, Laird. I could take on the likes of Moore as well. If I actually get rid of this might actually help. And I go to here, go to round, and go to where is he? Moore. Let's see, 636k. Then go here. I think I just miss out on the likes of, if I just filter out, I just miss out on Luke Ryan by 8k. So that was sort of what I was thinking about originally. As a secondary thought. But let's just go back to the original trades. This, and then we go Dane Zorko, and then I have myself not more. That's why I wanted to say that if Elliot Yeo had gone well, that I would have just gone Moore and Zorko in, and Zorko can go there, as I sort of do need a midfielder here. Let's filter it so that it helps with the trades here because I know where he is. There, Clayton Oliver. There we go. Those are the trades that I want to put in place, as this leaves me with this sort of playing at the moment, and then that there, and then play Darcy Wilson on field. Check what Powell's score is, or do I want to? Where's Fife gonna go? Oh yeah, so. Livingston to Jackson because Jackson needs to cover Sweet. Fife in here. Darcy Wilson on field, and I want Darcy Wilson actually off field and onto the emergency just because I need the loop here that Livingston usually creates at R2 because we need that captaincy loop. We want the Dacos captaincy, and do I go Bontempelli or do I go Gawn? I'm probably going to do Gawn on both, Bontempelli on both platforms now thinking about it. So let me just actually update the fancy one whilst I'm doing it here. And then Tom Powell, basically the problem here is that Tom Powell doesn't get on field. So I don't know what I was thinking about with Tom. Oh yeah, that's what it was. So basically what I want to happen here is that because St Kilda play before North Melbourne, I want to check Bonner's score here. I want to be able to check Bonner's score, and that could actually be a good option. And basically, because basically what's going to happen here is I can't, if I don't need the loop, no, that doesn't work. Because if Biggie had the forward and defensive eligibility, would help so much with this. But basically, I have to play Wilson here and keep the loop live. Then I've got to play. Then I have to see how Bonner goes. If Bonner stinks up, then we just put Graham in here, Graham onto here, Graham into there. And Closey off the field for Powell, and that'll be what I do. So then, yeah, hopefully Garcia isn't sub, hopefully Clark isn't sub, and hopefully, yeah, we just get some more cash then. But this is basically what the side's going to look like heading into the round, yes. And so Dacos captaincy as the D1. A pretty weak defensive line, I'm not going to lie. With Bonner and Roberts in there, as well as Wanganeen Malira, sort of an unders primo. But yeah, we'll probably get Ryan next week against St Kilda, I believe he has. Let me just double check that. As that looks to be a juicy matchup there. Where is he? He's got, St Kilda at Marvel. So hopefully he gets stopped a little bit against the Swans. And we can pick him up next week for roughly 650k, which will just be, hopefully... Hopefully it actually is, because I could almost have a full primo side by then, not thinking about it logically here. Say Sweet's back. Oh wait, no, I'd still have Sweet. So yeah, I'm looking at hopefully only having 1 to 2 rookies next week for my side, as hopefully I can be able to put Jackson back into the forward line, Wilson into the midfield, and we'll see how Graham performs at tier, whether I want to go Wilson or Graham, potentially through a loop here with Biggie, and then we'll just see. But that is basically the side there, and hopefully do well, as I want to get back into the top sort of 100. But just looking at the players here in the top sort of 1%. And I think a lot of people own the likes of Sweets, 88% owned. And I just want to filter this for Ruckman to show you the fact here. Sweets is, so most people have, a lot of people, 42% of people in the top 1% have Luke Jackson, which I would suspect is alongside Max Gawn. Like 95% of people have that. 31% have Brodie Grundy, 16% have Tim English. I wouldn't be surprised if there are a lot of sides out there this week that have around half the sides, I reckon, have Jordan Sweet as almost a secondary ruck, or around a third of the sides in the top 1%. So hopefully they have to trade in an English, which in the coming weeks when Sweet is back, will actually sort of gift us 20 to 30 points that I'll be able to do when I just slot in Luke Jackson back into the forward line. So that's basically the thoughts. A little bit longer on the Supercoach video. But yeah, getting in Dane Zorko and hoping he goes large. And yeah, that's basically the thoughts. And yeah, it sucks to miss, I think, Dylan Moore, but we'll see how that vote goes and just sort of my thoughts with as I'll talk to some other Supercoach guys. But anyway, that is the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.